Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe football show. It's happening again, Harry Kane. It's happening again. Don't know if you've just seen, but all over social media right now is the news that Newcastle United are now targeting Rodrigo Muniz. 40 million is the price. Of course, they have plenty of money. They're going to be losing Alexander Isak. He'll be, they've no Callum Wilson. He'll be told you will be our number one. This is from a number of sources. Craig Hope from the Daily Mail, and it's now been picked up all over that Newcastle have made an informal inquiry for Fulham's Rodrigo Muniz. A fee of 40 million has been mooted. This, of course, for me, would blow Leeds out of the water. We got no chance. I think he goes to Newcastle every day of the week. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not even... It's Champions League football. Graham Smith did an article today just explaining the fallout from the Paixão deal. And he said it was Champions League football that won out, which you can understand. Yeah, so I think they're after Sesko as well, but they want two strikers, well, right? So Sesko are also after, might be going to Manchester United, but my point is they still wanted two strikers either way. And obviously with the sale of Isak, they're laughing, aren't they? It's got radio silent our end. You're right. So you could be. They want Vissa. Vissa's refusing to train, but that doesn't stop them going to get Muniz. We put a first bid in quite some time ago now, Jamie. That was obviously we were told no, weren't we? But yeah, it's not great. And I'm just going to have a look actually and see when that first bid went in, because I'll be able to find that out. Thought Underwood was cooking. He was, mate. He was cooking, but maybe he was cooking salmonella. It turns around quick, you know. It turns around quick. I don't think it's fair to throw. You know, there's still time in the window yet. But if we have a look at the links to Leeds United, this was at least 9 days ago. There was links before that as well. 43 days ago. This was 43 days ago. Leeds are reportedly prepared to make a significant offer up to 35 million for the 24-year-old. I think we'd made a bid prior to that as well. And there's been a number of links to him throughout the month. But it just so happens, and listen, once it's like a deck of cards, yeah? Once one goes, they all go. And what we're seeing here is that we're a small fish in a big pond. And what I mean by that is Newcastle weren't looking at Muniz, right? And we'd have had a free run. But now what's happened is, because they've lost out on João Pedro, because Isak's probably going Liverpool, you know, because Sesko, you know, it now falls out. It's like their list. Muniz was at the top of our list. He might be fifth on their list, but unfortunately Newcastle have had a stinker of a window. And they're going boom, 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 right, Rodrigo Muniz. Now, we don't, look, it is only one source, but it's been picked up by a number of aggregators now. But this would be a real shot in the heart, you know, that because, you know, Fulham can say, oh, we'll reject and all that sort of stuff. But Rodrigo Muniz will make this deal happen to them. Because the Champions League, it's Newcastle, it's more money, you know. The Leeds one, if we're being honest, he could have been convinced by Fulham to stay. But when Newcastle come knocking, he's going to be banging down that door. He's already sent cryptic tweets out. As soon as his agents probably said, listen, Newcastle have inquired, he's probably, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Because they play Champions League. You know? Disappointing to see. Disappointing to see. But what? Yeah, send the Sambas back. Get refunds on the Adidas Sambas. Fuck Brazil. No more Samba dancing from me. I'm all about Argentina now. Just a PR exercise from the frauds. Eric, come on, man. Don't do that. It's not fair. It's not fair to criticise them for not getting Paixão. The fact that we were in the conversation's good enough for me. We didn't get him. Marseille came in. Leeds United didn't even think they'd have a chance at all. What I don't like about the context of the article from Graham it's almost as if there isn't another winger viable at this moment in time. I don't know if you've read the article, but we'll talk about it on the Paixão stuff. But I'm going to read through it. So the YEP understands. So we're moving on from Muniz for a second. We'll wait and see what happens there. But on Paixão, right, and this is where I go, oh, I don't like how that reads. The YEP understands that at the outset of the transfer window, Paixão was not available to Leeds because of his wage demands and price tag. But having watched and waited as the demands came down to an achievable level, Leeds was suddenly presented with an opportunity that they couldn't miss out on. So then they came in. And we were involved for around about 9 days in this whole transfer saga. Obviously, Underwood was waiting. Marseille have shot their load. Oh, they can't get this deal done. Let's jump on it, right? So Alex Davis presented to the players' camp, and the club surpassed Marseille with their first offer before upping it to a deal that would have been a total of 35 million euros. Yeah. Feyenoord confirmed in an email on Saturday, just prior to halftime against the Paderborn, that they would accept Leeds' bid. So this is what happened. The sticking point at that stage was their knowledge that Paixão was sold on the idea of playing Champions League football. Both clubs went to the phone lines to try and sway him towards a final decision. For Leeds, Adam Underwood, Evans and Parag Marate went on the call with the Brazilian. So they really tried to push it. Then Underwood, Evans and Davis talked to the agents. Farker also spoke to him. And close to midnight, Paixão's compatriot, Lucas Perry, whose own move to Leeds was only announced on Saturday, spent an hour chatting to him on the phone, trying to help him sell the move. So I don't think the Rafinha stuff is true, but it sounds like Lucas Perry got on and was like, listen, come on, man. Bambaea, bamboea. For Marseille, Roberto De Zerbi took the opportunities to speak with Paixão, reiterate the benefits of the project that had already impressed the player and his father. On Sunday, it felt like Leeds had done everything they could to get this deal over the line. Sources in Holland continued to say that Marseille couldn't match Leeds. This is what I believed at the time as well. By Monday, though, things had gone quiet. And their confidence of getting a yes diminished entirely. Just 1 second. It's not true, Evie. I'm going to come back to that point. Leeds believed the Ligue 1 side finally upped their offer, which matched ours, yeah? Earlier this week, the players' camp told the YEP that it had been a very difficult and personal family decision, but Champions League football played a massive part in his thinking. Leeds also believed their newly promoted status and fortunes of recent Premier League new boys entered the mind of Paixão's camp. So the fact that we've only just promoted, normally you get relegated, entered his mind. So that is something when you're competing with the Champions League club. Do I go to a team in a relegation battle or do I go Champions League? Unfortunately, he chose Champions League. Now, this is where it worries me a little bit on future targets. So it says Paixão has been described by club sources as a unique opportunity and a perfect fit because of his age, his experience, and ability to create and take his own goal-scoring opportunities. So it was a deal they could not walk away from. So they thought it was worth waiting 2 months for a chance to get to the table and negotiate. But now with a little only a month left in the window, the efforts have come to nothing. Yeah. And the question is being asked simply, what's next? Now, this is where it worries me a little bit. And again, it might be nothing. But it says on that front, Leeds insist they will not be reactive or let emotions lead them straight to jump to the next available target. Yeah. They have gone back to their process of discussing profiles, checking availability on targets, and they've done their homework and then putting the names to Farker. There will be an inevitable challenge when it comes to deals because they've shown their hand to the market on what they're willing to spend. Well, you bid 35 for Paixão, so, However, they will stick to their valuation like they did with Diarra. Now, they did say they're willing to wait for other high priority options to become available and have refuted suggestions that they have been unable to get stretch targets over the line. They cited Anton Stack as this, saying, look, he turned down the chance to play in the Champions League to come to Leeds. Similarly, Goodmanson and Biol have signed for clubs looking forward to elite European competition this season. They chose Leeds, right? But it does say that at Leeds say they are thinking all along have been to give the entire spine of the side a stronger look and believe they have done that with the additions of a goalkeeper, a centre-back, and a centre midfielder, right? Yeah, that is what they mean, Paul. This is the bit that I don't like, or that worries me slightly. They still want a number 9. At left wing, they say it only makes sense to sign a player who could keep the likes of Nonto Ramazani and James on the bench. And whether or not it meets with the approval of the fan base, Jack Harrison, who at present is still a Leeds United player. Now, again, I read into that as, do we really need to go? We do have all these options. Paixão, of course, was something, it was like a, golden egg. Can't turn that down. Does that mean, though, they will only then, go after another golden egg? Because I still think we need an improvement on the left wing. So that's the bit that worries me slightly. At left wing, they say it only makes sense to sign a player who could keep the likes of Nonto, Ramazani and James on the bench, which of course makes sense. You don't sign a player that's worse than them. But I also look at it and go, so are we not active on that then? Are we not active on that as we once were? Because we're happy with our lot, unless another golden egg opportunity becomes available, which if a golden egg opportunity becomes available, it's going to be a difficult deal for us to do. And then do we go, well, we tried. Now, I'm still very confident in the 49ers, and I'm still very confident in the recruitment. No, Viso, there's no mention of similar level players. They've gone back to the drawing board with that. Now, there's been a couple of links over the last few days that you'll see going along the bottom. The YEP does understand that the reports for Ricardo Soteli and Ajax attacker Mika Götze have been wide of the mark. And at time of writing, there is no other winger primed to fly into Leeds to sign a deal. So as at this moment in time, it's going to be very quiet, it would seem. It looks like we're just going to get a load of guff links again. So, yeah. And do you know what? Graham makes a good point. And this is where I land. The difficulty in selling the current wingers to the supporters is because the idea of Paixão has raised expectations. Of course it has. And I believe we need another winger, right, left, whatever. So it has raised expectations. Look at our reaction about Johnny Rowe, for example, the day after. Whoa, that's such a drop-off, which it is, of course. But it has raised expectations. We know the money's there to spend, etc., etc. And then he also makes the point of Harrison's numbers last season, which are very poor. Farke's reluctance to give Ramazani more minutes. James's previous struggles with end product at this level. And the fact that Leeds' best left winger last season is no longer at the club. So if they were to say, well, we couldn't find anyone that's better than what we've got, then of course, naturally we go, well, hang on a minute. You didn't play Ramazani. Harrison was gash at Everton. Nonto, is he left, is he right? And James were unsure on in the Premier League. And I think they're valid points made by Graham. And I think it would be remiss of Leeds to not get a target. If it's not Paixão, okay, you don't have to get that level of player, but you can still improve on what we have. And he makes a point at the end. In the period when Leeds went too long without signing a centre midfielder for Bielsa, it never felt true that there was really no acceptable or available targets that could come in and improve the squad. which I agree with. You know, that whole line of they've got to improve the squad and he got offered options that were just shy. Harry Winks. And, you know, then people that say, oh, they should have signed him. Look where Harry Winks is now. And look where Donny van der Beek is now. Bielsa knew. But the point is, he says there will undoubtedly be other Leeds wingers that they could go and get. And they are. This is the thing for me. There's wingers are 10 a penny. Wingers are 10 a penny. Because everybody wants to be an inside forward. The point of Paixão being a luxury shouldn't be the same with a striker. No, definitely not. We need a striker. Definitely, mate. I agree with you. And I won't disagree with you. I actually think Pirro will do well. We've got Mecha, but obviously there's injury concerns. But we need a number 9 who's going to lead the line. And that, we thought, was going to be Muniz. Also, Newcastle are struggling to attract players, and they have a Champions League football. I don't think it's a small fish syndrome. I think in general, players and agents are getting more entitled. No, Newcastle are struggling to attract players because they're going up against other juggernauts. The players they've lost out on have gone to other juggernaut clubs. What I mean by that, if you were to look at João Pedro, he's gone to Chelsea. If you look at James Trafford, he's gone back to City. So that's why they've lost out on them. Isak, he's going to go to Liverpool. They're bigger than them, unfortunately. And in its current guise, if Muniz has a choice to go to Leeds or Newcastle, he's choosing in Newcastle. Unfortunately, when it's Premier League to Premier League transfers, we're bottom of the pile. And this is true. We have to accept that fact. Let's say, for example, if tomorrow Dewsbury Hall was available for loan, we're bottom of the pile. You know, because if Brighton, if West Ham, even if Brentford come, they probably beat us to his signature. Yeah, I know. He was wanted by Newcastle. Newcastle were going to sign him, Mr. Dodo, but then Chelsea came in. That's about losing the target, bro. Newcastle was signing him, and then Chelsea said, no, we're taking him. This is true as well, but I think I wouldn't say that at all. Nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. If we offered the same salary, they would still choose them. Why? Because they're established Premier League clubs. Unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. Until we're an established Premier League club, this is what happens. Yeah, exactly. 100%. This is what I'm saying. The fact that they lost out on João Pedro, the fact that they're going to lose Isak. Now they're in competition for Sesko. They have a free run at Muniz potentially. And you have to be honest with yourself and say, right, okay, if the player goes, I've got Eddie Howe or Farker, Leeds or Newcastle, he's choosing Newcastle. He gets to play Champions League football. It's a World Cup year. And like you said here, the food chain is the food chain. The food chain is the food chain. Newcastle lost 2 players to Man United and third one they're about to lose. So on this, Man United, unfortunately, is Man United. It's an you know, if we're being honest here, Man United's Man United. Unfortunately, they still manage to sign top players when they're doing shit because it's Manchester United, and we could be the one that turns this around. You know, they still sign top players, unfortunately, because they're one of the richest clubs in the world. That's why, unfortunately. Yeah, no, exactly. Maybe, and Leeds probably thought, you know what, let's wait, and they've waited too long. You have to say that at this point. They have waited too long. They have waited too long, unfortunately, because they probably thought, let's wait for Fulham to get a striker. And if Newcastle are serious, they just go, bang, there's 40 million. Chat to me now. Other Leon players, Mikatadze is the one, isn't it? So, yeah, Rodrigo Muniz, Newcastle. We don't know. Look, it's coming from the Daily Mail, Craig Hope at the Daily Mail. He says basically, 1 second, I'll update you. I'm just scrolling down now. He's just been talking, obviously. He must have done. Has he done some? Hang on. Just catching up. Sesko update with new feeling internally on his next move. New Premier League striker added to Newcastle's shortlist after intermediary talks. Newcastle, just 1 moment. Oh, you have to allow ads on fucking Daily Mail. It's a nightmare. 1 second. Pause on this site. So it says... Oh, I've got to subscribe. Listen, basically, they've added... They have added Rodrigo Muniz. They've added Rodrigo Muniz to their targets. That's not a mess, bro. It's just you don't rate him. You haven't rated him because once upon a time he said he struggles to communicate. It was crazy talk that you all told me you weren't good enough for Leeds. He's a top goalkeeper. He's a top goalkeeper, and you will see that. You will see that now. He was awesome at Arsenal in 23-24. Fucking awesome. It's just that your man Raya's better. That's all. And no one wanted goalkeepers last summer, so he went to Southampton. Southampton would have conceded far less if it weren't for that man. And you will see with him being at Newcastle, of course he's not James Trafford. James Trafford has age on his side, etc., etc. But they're going to go get Ramsdale and then talk to me, Jamie, when you put him in your fantasy team. Talk to me when you put him in your fantasy team next season. Trust me, because he'll be cheap. This is what I'm saying. Vissa is a big piece of this also. Yeah, of course. Vissa is another one. You're right. He's refused to train at Brentford. So we'll have to wait and see. Oh, why? Because he said that once upon a time. You're right. Okay. So let's just really dissect this, right? You believe that a Premier League goalkeeper, Premier League, who's played in the Champions League for Arsenal, 23-24 was unbelievable, yeah? You believe a guy that's played at this club, Southampton, he's on his way to Newcastle, seriously lacks concentration. You think, come on, man, he said it once and you jumped on it. He said it himself. It's crazy talk that you actually think this is a thing. Why are Newcastle buying him? Why did Arsenal pay 30 million for him? Why? Tell me. If he lacks concentration. It's crazy. He said it once. Oh, I like to get in for... Oh, you know what I mean? It's mental that you think a Premier League goalkeeper who has international experience, who plays in the Champions League, who was one of the best players in the 23-24 season, you actually think, oh, yeah, he just lacks... Come on, man. He's at the upper... He's in the Premier League, man. It's madness that you actually think that that's true. It's mad, man. Honestly. I've always said he'd be a great signing, and people say, oh, nah, wouldn't dare. Now he's got a Newcastle to play in Champions League. Let's see what he does. You know? Manchester United held contract talks with Sesko during Leipzig's training camp. There isn't always a feeling that Sesko would choose Man United over all of the current options. There you go, because it's Manchester United, which probably doesn't help us, because I'd rather he goes to Newcastle. You know? I'm happy with what we've got, bro. I'm happy with what we've got. I'm well happy with what we've got. Why are you getting hyped? Because I like him. I'm allowed to get hyped about other players. Guess what? Do you know who my favourite player is? Bukayo Saka. What's your point? I like footballers. I like football. My favourite player in the world is Saka. I love him, the person and the player. I like to watch him play. Oh, he cuts in on his left. Guess what? He's not a Leeds player. You know? Ramsdale is a brilliant keeper. You could have had Gordon Banks. True. 100%. 100%. Fernandez from Southampton or Hamer. I think Fernandez plays deeper. Am I right or am I wrong? True Kershaw, crazy man, crazy. It's mental, isn't it? What it is. It is mental. Yeah, but it's also Football Channel, Just Your Football Show. We also spoke yesterday with a Forest fan. If you don't like me talking about non-Leeds players, I'd probably not watch because guess what? I talk about non-Leeds players. I'd like us to try the loan market. Yeah, your favourite player's best trait is taking corners. No, it's not. I don't know if you've watched him cut in from the right and bend with his left. I don't know if you've watched that, but that's definitely his best trait. My favourite player who's never played for Leeds is Noni Madueke. There you go. That's a mad one, like. Forget it, Joe, you don't get it. I mean, I do. I do. You don't get it. Really tough one here, Harrison or Saka. No, mate, no. Why? His numbers are shite, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. Right, I do want to pivot slightly. So we go from Muniz, which we've been linked to. Obviously, Newcastle have had a look. Satelli, the YEP have rubbished it. Isaac Schmidt, this was updated an hour ago to say that Leeds are ready to allow Werder Bremen an option to sign Schmidt permanently this summer as part of his planned loan move to the Bundesliga. So, yeah, the loan move is entering its final stages and understood to have been agreed, subject to a final green light from Leeds. It looks like Leeds United may be waiting for an incoming. Now, one of them incomings, an hour ago, we saw that Leeds are showing an interest in James Justin, which I think would be a fantastic signing as a backup, can play right and can play on the left. He's in the final year of his deal. Growing optimism at Leeds regarding the possibility of negotiating a relatively low-cost deal for the 27-year-old. I would bring in... That's a fantastic replacement for the outgoing Schmidt. Send Schmidt out on loan, bring in Justin. Guess what? He can play right, he can play left. He would go above Byram on either side. I think that's ideally what we want. And then the club will say the fullbacks are done. I know not a lot of people will agree with that, just having four and one of them being Byram, but I don't mind it. James Justin can play right, can play left. I would bring him in. He's in final year of his deal. Why not? Why not? I think it'd be a great pickup for Leeds. And if he's available and he's in his final year, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for us. So why not? Why not have a look at that? He's been linked to Besiktas. The latest rumours has him. That was 10 days ago, though. So it has him at Besiktas and then obviously Leeds United. Admittedly, of course, that could be an issue. But again, he's not going to be starting. We've had injured players like Solomon, like Byram. And guess what? They've been great. One thing I will say for Daniel Farker and his regime, medically, they're bob on. Look at how Ampadu recovered. Genuinely, that's why they got rid of Rob Price. Something I'll say for Farker, we're fit. So fit. Like, when I listened to Matt Jarvis speak about his time at Norwich, when he was at Norwich and he was on the From My Left podcast, one thing he said, double, triple sessions even a week before the season started. So on the money with our fitness, and we have to say, history shows us in the last 2 seasons from an injury perspective, we're all right. Like even the way that the Strauch injury was managed in his first season, Farker that summer, bye-bye Rob Price. He went. The next year, we don't have these problems. 100%. And not enough is given to that. Look at Byram. The last time Byram played as many games was the last time he was at Leeds, like 6 years before. And during that time, he'd played at West Ham. He played at Norwich. And maybe even another club on loan. And they never got him fit. Boom. And like Tyler said here, he started 38 games last season. He started 38 games last season, so that's huge. I will have a look at his injury record for folks, but I would back us in that scenario. Byram as well, yeah, 100%. If we have a look at his game time then, so to be fair, it's not that bad. The last 2 seasons, right? He played 36 games last season in the Prem. Season before, he played 39 in the league, in Championship. So recent history said he's all right. I'll have a look on Transfermarkt, because Transfermarkt does show us like injuries in depth. James Justin. I'm really sorry I wasn't on earlier as well. I've been so busy, folks, and I was on a call at 2 and like an important call. I've just been chocker. I was going to do a video earlier, and then when I came live, this news about Muniz came out, so I was like, oh, it's landed right. Let me have a look at his injury history, because I genuinely intended to come on at 11, but I was just back to back. I've been so busy. Current season and then injuries is on this bit. Stats, injury history. So he hasn't had an injury long term since 22-23. He had an ankle injury in February 25. He was out for 10 days and missed 2 games. Just 2 games. Prior to that, he had an Achilles tendon rupture, and prior to that, he had a cruciate ligament tear in 20. So they've been long-term injuries. Doesn't mean he's injury prone. So since his cruciate ligament tear, where he missed nearly a year, that was 2021. He's only had another injury in 22-23, which was an Achilles tendon rupture. He was out for 205 days and missed a full season, basically. And then since then, he's had 1 ankle injury that kept him out for 10 days. I don't think it's fair to call him injury prone. I would say, a player that's injury prone gets regular injuries, continuously breaking down, muscle injuries, muscle tears, bangs, not. He's had like long injuries. Like if someone broke their leg and then he's out or did their cruciate ligament, it's not fair to then say, oh, right, they're injury prone, because it is what it is. So yeah, I don't think it's fair to call him injury prone. He's had long-term injuries. Yeah, exactly. Bamford is injury prone. Bamford is injury prone. Bamford can get injured coming back from an injury. That's true. He's had like difficult injuries, Calvin became injury prone, didn't he? Little knocks, bumps. Oh, this, we used to have to deal with it all the time. So I don't think it's fair. He's had 2 big injuries, but long term. So James Justin, for me, if the links are genuine, I would be on. Yeah, exactly. He was injured celebrating, for God's sake. We were also linked to Mika Gotts. I think Lockie actually spoke on him on one of his videos. I've not had a chance to watch it yet, but that's been kiboshed this morning. And I did tell you that we will see a lot of crazy links. Since Paixão, right, we were linked to Jota Silva, Dobvik, some others. We spoke to a Forest fan yesterday, Wolfie, and he said, stay away from Jota Silva. Even that Ricardo Satelli, he's barely played last season. So what can we give credence to right now? Isaac Schmidt leaving on loan. And hopefully, I would like James Justin. Bakwa is the only other credible winger link. Yeah, we've also been linked to Bilal El Kanous. Again, tentatively, that was from The Athletic on the same article as Bakwa. The one thing that excites me with Jota Silva is not class at all. Why Forest is not. The one thing about Bilal El Kanous, he's got a relegation release clause of 22.5 million. 22.5 million. That is easy money. The only problem with that is apparently other Premier League clubs, including Forest, Everton, and Sunderland, are also considering a potential swoop. We've seen links in Germany as well. 21-year-old Moroccan international. Very good. Rated around about 30 million euros on Transfermarkt, but as I say, 22.5 million relegation release clause. Make that happen, but we've seen Spurs and stuff linked. I don't think Spurs go there, to be honest, with the buys that they've made. And there you go. Like Tyler said, apparently he's RB Leipzig's priority after Xavi Simons moves to Chelsea. So we're probably gonna struggle with it. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but apparently Luis Openda has been linked to Villa. That's a player that I know Lockie really likes. Stefan Ortega to Manchester United. Hayden Hackney to Everton. What else have we got? Dominic Calvert-Lewin to Villa. Fabio Vieira, Arsenal to West Ham. Yeah. But Leeds United. James Justin is the one. James Justin seems to be the most recent link. And obviously it's a waiting game on Rodrigo Muniz at this point. Hayden Hackney is off the whip switch. Maybe Everton have come in. Maybe Swoop. I'm not sure. Understand, Isak has already reached a verbal agreement in principle with Liverpool over a contract until 2031. Isak wants to move to Liverpool as early as this transfer window. The clubs are in contact. His salary at Liverpool will be similar to that of Hugo Ekitike's. Newcastle are still pushing hard to sign Sesko, but Manchester United are also in the race. That's an update on that. I think Man United will end up getting Sesko. They'll have had a very good window. Very good window. Kuna and Buemo, Sesko, Bruno Fernandes playing in the 10 with Kuna and 3 10s behind Sesko. They might be back. So yeah, if they get Sesko, which I think they will by what we're reading, then Newcastle are running out of options. Visser, they've now been linked to Muniz. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But that's from Florian Plettenberg, which is top tier sources. So I have to wait and see. Big up to J7, as always, keeping me in the loop. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Yeah, I did see this as well. Mark Gooey on his way to Sunderland. Sunderland have just signed a under-23 keeper, or are about to, from Holland. They've got Xhaka. Sunderland are not messing about. Fair play to them. But again, we've done well up to this point. I think they'll change, bro. I think they'll change this season. Mate. Is Jonathan David still? You've got no chance, though, Charlie. No chance, man. Even if he has, but apparently he's gone to Juve. Yeah, some of the names that we were linked that we could compete with at times, it's like there has to be. Yeah. Yeah, we've stalled. Yeah, we have stalled a little bit. We have stalled a little bit, but we'll wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see. We will wait and see. Yeah, I don't even know if that was genuine, though, if I'm honest. But look, the last time it looked bleak, it picked up again, didn't it? So it's just going to be time now. We were all in on Paixão. It is what it is. We now need to wait what's next. If they're not going to go for we need to improve on the wingers that we've got, if we're being honest. I did say at the start of the season, the only two that I'd say don't need improving on, I think I said James and Rodon. Anyone else could be improved upon. And maybe Tanaka. And you can improve on James, but I meant it's like I'm happy to give him. So for me, we could do with another winger. We need a 10 if we're going to play that way. We'll have to wait and see. Like Jonathan says, my good friend, I was supposed to be meeting him in Leeds tomorrow, but my car's in for garage, man. It went into limp mode. I've double checked it. My mate's got one of them code readers. It's what was it again? Something to do with there's 4 cylinders, spark plugs or something. But there's something else. I know what it is, but at least I know when I go in, I can be like, nah, mate, it's misfiring. That's it. It's misfiring. Either failing ignition coil or a spark plug or something like that. Yeah, it's misfiring, mate. So yeah, the whole engine was. I was like, what the fuck, my car's. So yeah, so that's got to go in at 9, and then yeah, thankfully it's under warranty. No, not DPF, man. I don't have a diesel anymore. I won't make that mistake again. We shall have to wait and see. Yeah. I don't think it's the oil, bro. Car's having a Bamford, yeah. No worries, Sean. Who would have been your preference, buddy? This is what I think it is, mate. We'll wait and see, though. But at least now my mates check the code, so when I go in, they don't go, you need an all new engine. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Don't forget this, bro, as well. Yeah, someone mentioned that. Someone said on the stream, like, "Oh, we're done," and someone said we literally signed someone just 4 days ago. Relax, and it is a good point. You know, it is a very good point. Anyway, don't know. Just Muniz. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, mate. Different strokes for different folks. But we now are. I'll tell you. I think he would suit us though, Sean, just for what it's worth. The type of striker we need. Let's have a look. Our game now is 19 days away. 19 days away. It's getting closer. So as it stands at this moment in time, I'd be happy with the back four. Goodmanson, Bogle. I think Bogle's going to cook. It'll be Strauch because Biol's out, but I'm happy with that. Rodon, Biol, goalkeeper Perry. Because we're at home, I think we might go 4-2-3-1. What that looks like, I'm not too sure. I'd be okay against Everton with Anonto playing on the left and James on the right. Pirro would have to play in the 9, but who's playing in the 10? That might be a worry. Could Mecha go in there? Will he go with Aronson? Maybe not so. If we go with the midfield 3, again, I'll be happy. So I'm all right for that, but we do need to get our skates on a little if we want a team ready for the start of the season. Of course, the window doesn't shut until the end, until the 1st of September, which would be 33 days. But if we go with a 4, yeah, maybe that's a good point, Scoobs, Sparks. We could go with a 3, yeah. And Stack's got to play. I think, to be honest, I don't think Tanaka and Longstaff will share minutes, I think. Ampadu will play. Deep line playmaker. Or maybe Stack plays there as a 6. I'm not sure. Maybe too deep. And then, like someone mentioned, with Longstaff higher up, 8. But no, not in the Prem. Maybe though, Jamie. You make a good point. I never thought of that. And then we'll have a similar front 3 to we did last season. But yeah, 33 days until the window shuts, which is okay. But if we talk about our first game, it's 19 days away. So I know. Whether or not, yeah, I hear you, bro. I would like that as well. But I think he won't drop the captain. I think there's a lot to be said, the fact that he's the captain. So wait and see anyway. But yeah, we need, for me, a backup fullback. I'd love Justin. It makes sense, right? Right and left. That'd be perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone. We're all right in midfield. I'd like a left winger or a right winger, both. If I'm being greedy, why not? We need a 10 if we're going to play that way. If we're not, and we're going to go with 3 in midfield, that's fine. And Aronson will be used as a high 8. Aronson on would say himself his best position is an 8, and he'll be a sub anyway. So if we go without a 10, we've got more than enough midfielders. We do need a 9. 9 and wingers for me, and a backup fullback, and we'll be done. But we've lost out on Paixão. We could lose out on Muniz. So let's not fuck about, Leeds. Let's start seeing some players coming in the door. But listen, that's 45 minutes done. Please do smash a like on the video. Big up to everyone in the chat. It's nice to see different fans, new faces coming in as well, getting us ready for the Premier League. Obviously, today is Wednesday. I'm actually on Don Hassam's channel at 5 o'clock, so make sure you join me there. Leeds versus Villarreal. Sorry. Leeds versus Villarreal on Saturday as well. So join me for that, you legends. And I'll probably see you later on because something's going to happen, I think. One of them is Byron, mate. So we'll just get the one personally. I know you might not agree with Byron being a backup, but the club do, so I think we'll only get one. We've had a super chat. The Premier League seems to draw players except for Leeds starting to be. That's not true, William. Also, yeah, I need to make you a moderator, don't I, William? I do apologise. I'll have to see you in the chat. Where you at? No, that's not true, man. We got Anton Stack over a Champions League club. We got Yaka Biol. I know they're in the past now, but genuinely, don't forget about these folks. You know, these are big signings. Anton Stack's a big signing for us, you know. I think now he's in the door, we relax a little bit. But yeah, he's a big signing for us. Don't forget this. It's easy for us to forget it, you know? Try not to. Because we're doing all right. We're doing all right, peeps. But anyway, 6'5". Anyway, smash a like on the video. Yeah, David, in your opinion, and well, okay with that. But in the club's opinion, you can say we need to, but I think the club will only get one, is what I'm saying. And I like Byron, so I don't mind it. We won't, Eric. Chill. Eric, you're being very, 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 very negative, mate. It's not to be negative about. We're all good in the hood. Promise you. Anyway, big up to you all. I enjoy the rest of your day. I need to do some cleaning now and get the dog out and that. And I'll speak to you in a bit. Love you all. Bye-bye.